In a quiet corner of the world, tucked beneath years of dust and fading sunlight, lived an old man named Edward. His house, once filled with the music of life, now sat still, like a paused memory. The ticking clock was the only voice left in the room. Every corner whispered the past wedding photos, handwritten notes yellowing with time, his wife's shawl still draped on the armrest. The silence wasn't just around him, it lived inside him. Edward wasn't bitter, just tired. Tired of waking up to the same quiet morning. Tired of warming 2 cups of tea out of habit, only to pour one down the sink. Most of all, he was tired of waiting for the phone to ring. His only son, Caden, had moved away years ago, chasing success in a distant city. The calls had grown fewer, the visits rare. But Edward waited, every evening, near the old landline phone. He never said it out loud, but all he truly wanted was to hear his son's voice again. Not for hours. Just for a moment, he wanted to hear. "Hi Dad. How are you?" Something to let him know he hadn't been forgotten. One evening, loneliness weighed heavier than usual. Edward picked up the receiver. His trembling fingers hovered over the digits Caden's number, still memorized after all these years. He paused, sighed, then placed it gently back down. "He must be busy," he whispered, forcing a smile that didn't reach his eyes. No need to bother him. Far away, in a city pulsing with life, Caden laughed with friends at a fancy dinner. His phone buzzed briefly with an unsaved number. He glanced at it, shrugged, and slipped the phone back into his pocket. There was wine to sip, stories to tell, deals to make. Somewhere in the noise, a call was missed. Back in the quiet house, Edward sat in his chair, clutching the phone. Call failed. He looked out the window where rain tapped gently against the glass. Then he closed his eyes. The phone still in his hand. His heart quiet. His breath slower, then still. The next morning, his neighbor noticed the porch light still on. She knocked. No answer from inside. She found him just as he'd always been, sitting, waiting, but today he is gone peacefully. Caden received the news 3 days later. When he returned home, the silence struck him harder than any sound ever could. The house smelled of old books and memories. On his father's desk was a folded note. "I didn't need much, my son. Just your voice. Once before I left. But maybe silence is what I earned." Caden's knees buckled. Tears he didn't know he had began to fall. He stared at his phone and found a missed call. From the number he hadn't saved. Days passed. Guilt stayed. And then, something changed. Caden began dialing that old number every day. It rang, then stopped. No one answered. But still, he spoke. "Hi Dad. I miss you. I'm sorry. I should have called. I should have come home." Every night at 8:43 p.m., the time of the missed call, Caden sat in his father's empty chair. He lit a single candle and whispered the things he never said. Apologies, regrets, memories. No one else knew. It wasn't for the world. It was just for his father. The house stayed quiet, but something inside him softened. In those silent conversations, he found the closeness he once ignored and the forgiveness he never asked for. One day, at a youth seminar, Caden spoke. "Don't wait for the right moment to love someone. Just love them, right now. Because sometimes, a missed call becomes a missed lifetime." Moral we get from this story: never delay love. Time won't wait. Call them, hug them, just say, "I love you," before silence answers back. Edward didn't ask for much, just a voice, a moment, a sign that he still lived in someone's heart. But the silence was louder than words, and now, it's permanent. Too often, we assume we have more time. We push things off. We say, "I'll call tomorrow," until there is no tomorrow. If this story made you pause, good. Let it wake you up. There is someone in your life right now, a parent, a lonely friend, someone you haven't spoken to in a while, who is waiting for you. Not for money, not for gifts, just a voice, a call, a simple, "I miss you." Don't let another evening pass in silence. Because sometimes, a missed call becomes a missed lifetime. If this story touched your heart, do more than watch, just act. Call someone, leave a message, show up. And if you believe stories like this can change lives, help us share it. Like the video, comment with your own reflections, and tell us, who do you wish had called you? Or who are you going to call today? Subscribe to Aura Within You for more soul-touching stories that speak the truth we often ignore. Stories that make us cry, reflect, and hopefully, reconnect. Because healing begins not in grand gestures, but in the simple sound of a voice that says, I'm still here.